All right, all right. Hey Lawrence, what's up, man? How you doing? Hope you had a good weekend. And one of the things with lights, man, you gotta look at them to turn it on, and then when it turns on, it's right in your eyes. So let's see. Doing better. Oh man, was there something up before? Getting good rest, good sleep, all that jazz. All right, so getting this finished up here. Good, good, good. Oh no, a high BP, man. That's not good. That's not good. Feeling any lightheadedness or dizzy or anything like that? Gotta take it easy. Gotta take it easy. Don't do anything high stress now. But today we're going to be working on a few more of the diamond painting pens, and then if possible, I'll have some time to get to a new set of fountain pens that I'm working on, so that'll be pretty cool. Yeah, I've got, I don't know, 10, 12-ish to do of these, and then moving from there. Let's see. Dang it, it's going to do it every time. So these blanks, I'll show you here in a second, but they are called Terrasen, and they're inspired by a book series. Here, I'll flip half of them over. I mean, they'll get a better view of them, but so kind of really green and gold and pretty cool. I don't think she has finished any yet, but I have a lot of them already turned. So I've got 7 larges and 3, so I got 10 total to do here, and then I'll probably change gears and do some fountain pen stuff. Yeah. Man, I was feeling all reflective this morning. You got headaches? Hey, that's not good. But you said you were feeling a little bit better than before. So maybe the worst of it's past. But yeah, so let me switch cams here, right here. There we go. We still like that horizontal view. I think depending on how this goes, I may switch it back to the vertical view and then just have, I don't know. I might have to change something up a little bit. But we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening. I'm not entirely sure yet. Oh, had to raise your blood pressure. Oh man. Shoot. Well, I hope that you feel better soon. Not a good time of the year to start feeling like that. But as for these blanks, they are Terrasen, which is a city in a book series that is Throne of Glass. My wife likes to read a lot, and that's kind of been one of the things that she's been enjoying is um, having some blanks that are themed after um, different things in stories and novels that are you know that a lot of people are into right now. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool to be able to do something like that, and then I don't know. It gives everything a little bit more depth, I think. I had to raise your med. Got it. But yeah, yesterday was a productive day. I was out here till about 9:30 p.m. I came out at about, I don't know, 10 or so a.m. and was out here till about 9 p.m. Just working on this color series, trying to get ahead, trying to create some space for more fountain pen stuff as well as other YouTube videos that I am working on. Um, I had a pretty cool idea that I spent a couple hours on this morning. Um, yeah, I think it'll be a pretty cool one. But yeah, that one's going to be a big one too. I still have a lot of work to do on it, but it'll be pretty cool, I think. Um, hey, thank you. It is pretty cool. It is pretty cool indeed. But yeah, without further ado, I mean, I'll still keep chatting, but we got to get Morty turned on so we can start getting these babies done, cranked out. Bum, bum, bum. I guess a little update on my finger, by the way. The skin has come off essentially, so it is on the mend. Everything is now, kind of put back together, and everything's closing up how it's supposed to. Uh, yeah, my stitches came out a while ago now, but now it's just a matter of finishing the healing process. So I'm just going to keep it covered for now, and there's no open or anything. It's just got the fresh layer. I guess I'll leave it at that. Not to be too graphic, but yeah, we got a nice fresh new layer of skin there. But yes, indeed, yes, indeed. It has been a good week, a good year so far, actually. So that's pretty cool. I hope everybody's having a good year so far. It's a little early to be not, but it can happen, I suppose. And as far as like I have things that I want to work on. A lot of people kind of set goals, right? Every year they set goals, but I don't know. I think about it a little bit differently when it comes to that type of thing. I think it's, again, I was in a reflective state this morning, and then I have been for I guess a little while now, but just trying to think about um, the previous year and the different things that we've been able to, I guess the milestones that we've been able to get to, and different areas of, I guess, overall improvement from where we were. So I think it's important to kind of reflect on the good things that you've done, and then also think about the things that you want to do moving forward. So that's kind of what I've got stewing. As far as like behind the scenes kind of stuff goes. Let's see, what else? Kind of health and wellness, I guess, is one of the big things that being mindful of, and then being a little bit more consistent on other things, such as streaming. Being consistent can be challenging because I kind of want to change a little bit of how I stream and kind of have it be more along the lines of doing a specific project rather than the same type of thing. So maybe a more individual project type of thing, but I'll probably still continue doing the regular stuff I'm doing as far as the production side of it, because I just think it's a good way to find people, and then this is really where I do a lot of my thinking. A lot of people have shower thoughts and stuff like that, so this is kind of like my shower thoughts when I'm in here working on different things. And then it's always nice to have engagement from like-minded people that also have different questions and stuff like that. So it's a nice way to kind of, I guess, show different things and talk about different things. So, anything is progress. If I recall correctly, Lawrence, one of the last things that we talked about was you were getting a single start set of taps and dies, or you already had it, because you're going to try to start working on that. And do you already have a lathe? I don't know if I asked you that or not. Oh, nice. The Central Machinery one? Hey, it works. It works. And I think that's one of the interesting things about, a lot of the things on the well, at least the lathe wise, there's a lot of things that work. So should be pretty good regardless. But yeah, this has been a workhorse, this jet. Mm. 10 by 18. That's a good size. That's a good size to do, well, anything that I do, actually. I think there's only one thing that I ever made that was like maxing out my 12. But it is nice to have a little extra space. But when I think about larger lathes, or I guess more expensive lathes, it's kind of funny because, you know, typically, as far as lathes go, the bigger you go, the more expensive they are. That's not always the case, but, you know, quite a bit. And it's just, I can't imagine having like a full-size lathe that's so big that 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 I'm making pins on. It just kind of seems silly in some ways. Because I probably wouldn't turn very large things, even if I had a big lathe. Hey, how you doing? Crafteritas? Crafteritas? Sorry, it's really small on my iPad over there. And awesome. What kind of lathe did you end up getting? Let's see. I'd like to have one with reverse so you could turn left-handed. Like margarita. Hey, I like your style. I do like a good margarita every once in a while. Those are nice. Those are refreshing. What kind of turning have you done so far, Crafteritas? You want one with reverse so you can turn left-handed. I'm pretty sure I could be turning left-handed if I had to. I mean, the same rules would still apply as far as like the presentation of the tool and all that other stuff. I'm pretty sure you could just switch the banjo to the other side and then flip the whole lathe around and it would be spinning the other direction for you. First bought a shop box, but was defective. Oh, dang. I hate that. I hate that. And hopefully it didn't have any issues returning it. Shopbox and Grizzly are on Amazon as well. But that's awesome. I have a Grizzly bench grinder over there. You turned a couple resin blanks. Cool. Cool. What kind of resin do you know what kind of resin it was? Or who you got them from, or anything like that? No, I mean, you probably know that, but... No issues returning. Nice. That's good to hear. It's always nice when that happens pretty easily, especially for a really heavy item like a lathe. Like, I think those are probably about 70 pounds, somewhere around there. So it's nice that it's done like that. That's a bummer it was defective. Kind of like a killjoy. I'm glad you stuck with it. Glad you stuck with it. Turning has been awesome. I love it. Lumalite. Hey, good choice, good choice. Lumalite's a very, very nice material. These are Lumalite. We made some kit pins, couple crochet hooks, some trumpet yellow turkey calls. I was watching somebody turn turkey, or duck calls I mean. I was watching somebody turn some duck calls a couple weeks ago now. You poured your own blanks. Hey, there you go. That's a good way to go about it. Buying other blanks can definitely get quite costly, but you know. You worked with resin for quite a few years. What kind of resin stuff did you do before? Or what did you make with resin before? Oh, great! Marianne. Marianne's nice. I'm glad you found the channel. Yeah, Marianne is very nice. She's spent quite a few hours with me so far. Lawrence has got tens of hours with me so far. I don't know the actual number, but Lawrence has been around for a while. And he does scroll saw work. Crafteritas. I don't know if you were in the Manassas, Virginia area, but there is going to be a turning gathering. It's called the Mid-Atlantic Turners Expo. And if you're in the nearby area, it's worth going to, I'd say. There's blank makers there that bring some of those wares and kits and other things to get inspired by. I went last year, but it's over my daughter's birthday, so I won't be going this year. Lauren, spell-check giving you a hard time, huh? With your Yelper? It sounds like you just made something new. You got duck calls, turkey calls, and we'll just call them Yelpers. Oh, cool! You can only be here another 15 minutes? Hey, that's all right. I appreciate you stopping by nonetheless. As far as Florida goes, let's see, September will actually be at a pen show in Orlando in September. So this is one part of what I do, and then the other part of what I do is I make fountain pens. So we will be there as vendors for a fountain pen show. Yeah, be cool to meet people if you happen to be able to go. But yeah, it's a good time. That was the first show we ever did. It's in Orlando. We kind of do a little vacation as well. It's become our annual tradition, mine and Abby's, and we'll probably be bringing the kids this year. But yeah, we do a little Disney thing as well, where we'll pick like our favorite couple parts and we'll do that. And then Abby and I really like the Halloween Horror Nights that Universal does, so we really like that. Hey Michael, how you doing, man? Good to see you. I was thinking about you the other day, and I was wondering if you knew if any companies used other barrels than oak. I think most bourbons are oak cask, but I was wondering if you knew more about that. A simple Google search would tell me my answer, but I was reminded when you just popped in. Let's see. Found one video online making the trumpet yell for calls, and it was my calling ghost. Fun. So Crafteritas, you got yourself a grizzly lathe. Very nice. Very nice. Do you know what type of craft you're wanting to make? Or a little bit of everything? If I'm being honest, I think you should try everything. At least turning wise, to see if you like kits, if you want to do other types of things. Obviously diamond painting pins, bottle stoppers, things along those lines too. It's a lot of cool things. Diamond painting pins are pretty straightforward when it comes to turning them. And then let's see, Marianne, did she also already tell you about Brian from TBC Bushings? Let's see. Diamond painting pins to start? Yeah. I mean, regular spindle turning is definitely one of the good starting points. It's a lower cost. You don't have to really buy kits. You just need to have jaws, a Jacob's chuck, and well, obviously a lathe, and then a dead center, live center, and then turning tools. So it's pretty basic when it comes to the actual stuff involved. You don't really need glue. You don't really need you don't really need glue. So a plastic polish of some sort and wet sandpaper. That's the key right there. Wet sandpaper if you're going to do resin. Some people, they try to use the wood stuff, the sandpaper that you get for wood, like this. So this type of thing, and it's good for wood, but it's not really good when it gets wet because the adhesive starts to break down, and then you'll end up scarring the materials you're working on. Because for wet sanding, you need to keep it in water to keep it wet. I didn't get the other side yet. Let's see. You also diamond paint? Yeah, good, good. Yeah. What I used to use was something like this. These are called thread finders. Oh wow, my hand is weird looking. These are called thread finders. It's a way to determine like what threads something is. So it's like a tester. So this also has the other side, which has basically the reverse of this on this side. And so that has the different pitches and stuff. But that was my initial solution to it. But the bushings are actually made for it, and so having the right tool for the job is worth it. I know that they can kind of seem a little expensive, but he does make them on his machine, his lathe. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, Michael, gotta go back a little bit. Mosher oak, but potentially beer barrels, maybe other wood. That's interesting as far, because I have also seen some beer barrels that are cast like in wine barrels, or that are also cast in other whiskey barrels. I've also seen that, which is pretty interesting. That beer is awful, by the way. I did not like that. I have tried the beer cast, or the whiskey cast beer, or whatever. They took old whiskey barrels and then put beer in them. They've also done the same thing with wine. I don't know if you've ever tried that, but it's weird. It's weird, and I didn't like it. Hey, Jan, how are you? Good to see you. It's nice to see some new faces here. Oh, I didn't go far enough. Let's see. The fountain pen kits you got are really nice. That's good, man. Do you know what kind of nibs they use? Stop wiggling, you. You diamond paint too. Hey, I'm glad you ordered them. You tell Brian that I sent you. It's just one small biz supporting another small biz. So, it's good. Brian's a good dude. Him and I have had some nice long chats, and I also got to meet him at the Turner Expo last year. So that was pretty nice to put a face to the name, you know. I'm trying to get better with names, but it can be a real challenge sometimes. Especially when you don't see him very often. Reese's Pieces does an awesome job too. Yeah, he does. He does a good job. He's a very talented maker. see. You'll be trying to listen. Nice. Oh, you have Abernet. Gotcha, gotcha. That's good. Abernet and Bowman paper. Now, I guess I should also mention that for sanding the rough part, like the first grit or two, you can use that dry, but it's going to be really dusty. So just kind of keep that in mind too. You want to make sure that you're protecting your lungs. So if you do it, wet sanding keeps the dust down, but it doesn't eliminate it necessarily. But for the high points, if that is the sandpaper you have at the moment, you could use the dry sandpaper for smoothing it out before getting the scratches really, really small. Let's see. Is it wet? Also wear a respirator. Good, good. You only get one set of lungs. So. Hey, Rad. How you doing? There's so many new names popping up. Love to see it. Love to see it. Working on diamond painting pins right now. Just a quick little summary of what's going on. Turning diamond painting pins right now. If you're not familiar with diamond painting pins, they are a craft handle that you put a brass metal. It's a plastic insert into, and then you use it to set drills onto a canvas. And those drills are like rhinestones. They kind of look like rhinestones that have tons of colors, and it is a more ergonomic handle than the tiny little plastic paint pen that comes with the kit. So this particular blank is from a book series, or inspired by a book series, that is called Throne of Glass, and the blank name is called Terrasen. I wrote it because I didn't read the book, Abby read the book, and she makes the blank, so. Did not want to get how I wanted to be. Let's see, most anything you get for turning, you have to order it. Yeah, that's kind of how it is. There's not a lot of shops, like brick and mortar shops. I only know of Rockler and Woodcraft as far as turning tools and other like woodworking type of stuff. But they are pretty, there's quite a few of them around the States. Hello, Tamra. How are you? Hey, I appreciate it. Oh, yeah, it's a city in that book. Kind of a green and gold. It's an interesting contrast, that's for sure. We're in a situation to have cards. Cards. Definitely makes it hard to order stuff online. Can you get like gift cards and stuff? Because that could be a way to go about it. If you have like a I don't know, an Amazon card where it's preloaded or something like that, that would be a way, I suppose. No, I hate to hear that. $30 in the Navy, wow. Well, I thank you for your service. I know that it is not an easy thing to be with somebody that is in the military, so I always like to appreciate the wives of military and husbands of people in the military, because I know that it's a pretty big commitment on the other person's part as well, and giving the comfort in knowing that he had, in this case, somewhere safe to come back to. Because in the military, you want something that's reliable, and that's kind of what keeps people going in some cases. So that's what Abby did for me, and I appreciate it. You tried that? You get confused on how they work? I'll be honest, man. I don't actually buy much of anything. I basically find what it is that I want at the time, and then I'll ask Abby to order it for me. Oh, this one is dancing. I'm going to drop the speed a little bit and see if we can do this a little bit better. Why are we dancing so much? That's awesome. I'm glad to hear it. It is one of those things that's so important. That was one of my reflective things earlier today. I was thinking about all the people that actually helped make the mission happen when I was in the military, and how the people that get the credit are the ones that actually go out to do the mission or the operation, but the people that do all the maintenance for those things to actually happen, they don't really get much credit. And so that's kind of what I was reflecting on this morning, and I think it's important to at least give those people a nod, you know. Absolutely. Hey, thank you for coming by and introducing yourself. Have a good class. All right. So, if y'all didn't know, what I did is the blank was. This is obviously a thinner part, and when you have something that's like right here, only this deep, it leaves a lot of room for it to vibrate. So what I did is I just slowed it down a little bit. I have to turn a little bit slower, but you can actually keep constant pressure on it. So that definitely makes it a little nicer, instead of it dancing around. Same thing goes for sanding. for people that like to sand at very high speeds. I think it would be worth trying if you haven't yet, reducing the speed to sand to about between 7 and 900 RPM or so. And then for your friction polish, or polishing paste or whatever it is that you're using, pumping that speed back up. Your dad was in the Navy? Yeah. To rely. Oh, there's kindness? I hear you. Okay. Need to switch this. Yes, indeed. Hope everybody's having a good 2026 so far. Weather would warm up. It's been a pretty warm winter, I think. One of the warmer, at least that I recall. But yeah, it is. It's a chilly one today, at least here, and rainy. It's a rainy day here as well. Alright, we are about configured here. So the previous tool rest I was using is a 6-inch. This is a 8-inch. The sweet spot would be a 7-inch, but I'd have to get that made. Okay. 35. Turn the fan on. I have a heater in here and whoo. It definitely heats right up. That can't happen the whole time. I hear you. I hear you on that, Lawrence. I don't want that to happen to you either. if you've watched me make these diamond painting pins before, you'll know that I use, the same beading tools pretty much all the time. And I was wondering how to sharpen them, but the solution I came up with is hitting it with a belt sander, and that seems to have worked. I don't know if people talk about that, but that's how I did it. I just sanded them, the top of them. Now, when the material gets really thin, I don't necessarily know what I'm going to end up doing, but probably somehow stick a glue back into it. But I was looking at that larger one, and the wings on it are really deep. So I was thinking about how can I get that ground down a little bit. So I was going to do it yesterday, but I didn't want to run the risk of not being able to finish these. So once I finish this set, I'll probably end up taking a grinder to the largest one that I've got, which is a 3/8. And trying to trim the wings down a little bit. That way I don't have to go so deep and then fine tune this little outside as much. At least that will be what I'm thinking. But I do know that it's possible I might have to get another one if I mess it up. But it is what it is. No grinder. I gotta take these wings down pretty far. Well, at least for this one. Because, I mean, you see, it's like all the way here, and then the middle of the blank is about right there. So if I actually went all the way to the bottom of this, it would essentially cut right through the blank. So I'm kind of limited to how deep I can go. So I have to take these down quite a bit. So that and that need to take it down. The other two are fine. But sharpening it, I basically I turn it to where the cutter is face down, and then I'll just run it on the belt sander for, I don't know, 2 seconds, and then I'll pull it off, and it's good enough to continue. As you can definitely tell when it's not cutting, it's just kind of causing a lot of dust. Oh, yeah, sharpening, I use the belt sander. And I just turn it face down and take away some of that surface and create another little bevel on the inside there. I do have a diamond file, a rounded diamond file, but it would most likely make different shapes than I want because I don't have, I guess, the right size. But if I had, I guess, a dowel rod and then I dragged it on some sandpaper, that would also work well enough. But yeah, this part right here is really taking a lot longer than it should, really. But I do not have a chainsaw file currently. I'm going until I feel that it's smooth. Trying to maintain the shape, but I'll probably have to come back in with the other diamond tool here to get that rounded again on the deeper areas. We don't want a weird flat wall right there. I don't know if you can see what I'm talking about, but there's a flat wall that the round carbide won't fit to. So I basically kind of peel it out just a little bit with the diamond tool here. That's pretty much all I use that one for. In parting guardian pins, guardian pin. Nice. Hey, Ricky. Is it Ricky? How you doing? Ah, okay, we're good. So the other reason too I do the middle first is because that's where, well, is because the outsides are more supported. So if you turn things that are relatively long like this between centers, and there's nothing really supporting it on the inside that you put in there for structural stability, try turning the middle first, and then coming back and then doing the outsides. That would be a pretty good way to go about it, I think. Yeah, Lawrence, I just saw that. Using the sander will definitely wear it out faster, but I'm not too worried about it with how seldom I use it. Like, I use it for these specific cuts, so other than that, I don't really use that particular tool. And then eventually I'll probably just get Carbide. But they're like, the Carbide round beading tips like that are like $40. So I definitely get $40 worth out of them. But hard to justify a purchase like that when I already have something else that's doing the same thing. I'm gonna get some 1/4-inch square steel. Make a couple hollowing tools. I did get a steel bar that I want to do something with. I don't know what I want to do with it yet, but hey, watch the lathe carving is always good. Thank you so much. Fuji. Fuji? Sorry if I pronounced the names incorrectly. This has been a really slow one. Because all the little things that has to happen in these little grooves and all that. Because I want to make it as smooth as possible to make sanding easier. So the smoother you can get it with a tool, the better it will be, or easier it'll be on sanding. There's one spot right there, and then we're good. I wanted to smooth out that high spot. There we go. Pretty smooth. I mean, Alumilite also turns really nicely, so there's also that. You're a carpenter? Hey, cool. Family of Smiths from India. Most traditional tools are getting obsolete now. Automation and CNC router. Yeah, I believe it. Yeah. And I don't think you can necessarily turn back time on that one. It's like the whole John Henry story, and when he goes against an excavator, maybe? I don't know. He was able to smash rocks, but at the end of the day, it's hard to actually beat a machine, you know? But there are definitely people out there that still appreciate things that are not automated. So, and it's also kind of therapeutic. I find it therapeutic to turn. But yeah, there is absolutely a lot of automation out there. I mean, even some pin makers nowadays are using CNCs and stuff like that to increase production. And I mean, you know, I kind of have mixed thoughts on that, but you know, it is what it is. You can't do much about it because it's still going to happen. It is still going to happen. So We appreciate older tools but don't know how to use them. Yeah, I mean, they're challenging, and I think that's one of the things that I really like about it too, is that it is challenging, um, and it forces concentration if you want to actually turn something out and focus. All those types of things combined, a little bit of finesse, coordination. Very similar reasons to why I like making fountain pens and sharing about fountain pens and craft handles for diamond painting, because diamond painting is also another one of those things that you're constantly working on your coordination, um, when you're focusing on something for an extended period of time. And in a world that is going so fast, it's nice to slow down every once in a while and kind of meditate with yourself, you know? There's a saying in your community, it's not God who made this world, it's the Smiths. Oh, what's your community, your friend? Hey, appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or night. It's evening there, so rest of your evening. Have a good night. Thank you for stopping by and chatting. Wax cut again. Lawrence, do you primarily use carbide or only use carbide? Do you have a set of traditional tools? Good swoosh. Mostly carbides? Yeah, I think it's definitely one of the easiest ways to get going. And then not only get going, but keep going. But I do still practice with the SOOO. I'm not consistent enough with my grinding to use my bowl gouge, so my bowl gouge looks like crap, and that's just not going to work. It's hard to get consistent with something when everything's inconsistent, you know, as far as like the angles and geometry of the cutting edge. you can't really build muscle memory when that's the case. And so that's why I don't really use it. Also, as you know, I don't really turn much wood either. The wood that I have turned is stabilized, and I'd be at the grinder every other pin pretty much. And I've done a comparison, and the result, even on my best cleaning pass of the steel, it's not so much different that I'm like, man, that is worth it. So I think it's also the balance of time and efficiency. I don't always turn for speed and being as productive as possible. That's not why I turn. And it might sound weird, but I know there are some people who just turn to get it done. And I think they're missing out on some of the joy of the whole turning part of it. You had some Savannah tools gifted to you? Right on. I'm not familiar with those, but that's nice. Need new cutters for them. Yeah, and you can't order stuff. But the cutters that I use for the Easy Wood tools are actually for routers. Planers. Not routers, planers. Supposedly. It looks like this. So I buy them in sets of 10. And they fit nicely on the Easy Wood cutter. And a part of me wonders if the whole negative rake thing is a way for them to make it so you can't really sharpen them. But I can't say one way or the other. I just kind of wonder, because it's a lot harder to sharpen a negative rake than it is to sharpen a flat one. I still have not used a negative rake, by the way, but it's hard to justify when I can buy 10 for half the price of one negative rake. But eventually I'll probably get a set. I'll probably get an insert, not a set. There we go. Turning at a slower speed is definitely nice for these longer ones. I'm probably in vicinity of 2,500, 24, 25, somewhere around there. 100 RPM. My digital readout, when I replaced the bearings in my spindle, or in the headstock there, I had to really bang that spindle to get it back into place. because I had done it a couple other times before, and it didn't want to go back to its position, so I had to encourage it with force, and I guess I was beating on, there's a little red light that's in the headstock here that it has a sensor that basically reads the spindle speed. But that doesn't actually produce a number anymore over here because I broke it. But I know where the dot needs to be pointing for the speeds that I'm going for. And my speed indicator. But with essential machinery, you don't have to worry about that. You just change the belt and it puts you in a different range. It does have 3 different positions, doesn't it? For the pulleys on there, for the central machinery one. At least I think it did. Let's see. I think I am done with the coffee now. What number are we on? 36. Okay. Cool. If you didn't know, the reason there's numbers on here isn't to indicate how many I've done. Rather, it is basically a shape that I have a sheet over here for. So I've got 40 different, I guess 41 different shapes that I make, and Abby gets the blanks, marks them, I cut them and prep them for turning, and then she also marks whatever shape that she wants them to be, and then that is what I do. 36, okay. Not even this one. Alright, so this one is going to get 3 beads. On each side. Boom. And this is the other part about the wing tolerance of this, is you see how it flares it out, because this is so, I've even ground this off quite a bit. You can see like the shiny edge starting from here down. I angled this even more because of how wide it was. This one's an 8. The other one is a 1/4, and the other one's 3/8. Yeah, 3/8. Yeah. That's why. There we go. Here's looking good. You know, something else that's pretty interesting about resin blank is that the way that it cuts is different depending on what you put inside of it. So on one side we have golden glitter, and then on the other side we have what is a green pigment paste kind of thing that we mix. And the way that one side turns is a little bit different than the other, because the one with all the glitter on it is more like kind of packed feeling, almost gritty, and then the other side turns like butter. So it's noticeable feeling the difference of those. Let's see. Just a little bit. So I think that's another interesting thing to kind of identify as you work on different materials and stuff like that. Because with that type of information, you can, you know, put it on your preferred side if it is a little bit harder to turn that particular one than it is the other, or you can, it'll lend itself to different results when you turn. She's not meant to give me a straight cut. Something else that I was thinking about too was, would it be beneficial to actually see my hands, like what my tool is doing back here on the back end when I'm doing the different shapes and stuff like that, because I do maneuver my tool quite a bit, definitely more than what is actually talked about in the user guide of the Carbide. But I was wondering about that. Would that be beneficial for people to see? Most people, they just hold it flat and do all the shapes like that. Or they're not actually doing shapes, they're just doing like angles and tapers. So, I don't know. That one needs a little cleaning right there. Would be good to move on. Yeah, everybody thinks the Carbide is a scraper when it can be used as a scraper, but it can also be used kind of like a SOOO when you tilt it. But I'll just do a combination of everything. And I think that really is one of the best parts about it, is getting comfortable with the tool. And then when you get comfortable doing it one way, you can add to it. Not replace it necessarily, because I still do the old scraping method. But the tool right now is sideways, so. I'm going to do it again here in just a sec. And do that. So this is essentially the scraping. I'm going to do that to get my initial groove started. And then I'll come in and I actually tilt it really far to where this is essentially my guide. So I'll come in and it's slightly tilted too, and then just kind of follow it along. But my bevel isn't in contact quite the same as on like a traditional tool. Yeah, you can essentially... You got him off! How about that? He looks so cute. You have a good day? Good. The dog just got her braces off. Yeah, essentially the cutting edge is always the very tip. Like, for this, you could also use the square carbide, because this point right here in the middle is essentially the cutting edge, as long as you have it angled far enough. So we'll come in here, and then we're doing the same thing as before. I just prefer using the round carbide because it gives me the ability to go into these grooves a little easier. But it's essentially used in a very similar way. Thank you. On the crochet hooks you made, you put beads on them. It's Savannah bow gouge. Is your first time turning beads? Hey, cool. That's fun. I guess I'm nerdy like that, but I think it's really exciting to try out different things. Like I'll have an idea, and I'm just so excited to come and try it and see how it works. Sometimes I won't enjoy it as much as I hope. I guess case in point is my oval shape skew. I was excited about getting that to try it out, but I got it and I tried it a little bit, but I did not like it as much as I had hoped. But that's okay. That's okay. I haven't given up on it. I kind of got to want to learn at the same time, and that's just not always the case when you're trying to do other things. What did you make the crochet hooks out of? And then are you making the handles, or are you carving out the hook part as well? Uh-oh. Oh, your internet. I was like, oh man, we're doing so good and everything. Okay. Looking good. But yeah, you can also kind of see how this would likely be a textured surface because of the glitter, and then this one wouldn't have like any feedback on the tool really, because it's just the pigment that's coloring it to be opaque. That is one of the good things about some of the pigments that we use, is that you can get opaque colors as well. Because when you use like dye, it doesn't quite work right. It ends up being kind of translucent. Yes. Yeah, you like challenging yourself. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But see, that's when the fun begins too, is when it doesn't work out and you still really want that to be something that you're working on. I think that's kind of when the fun comes about, because you got to figure out how you're going to end up making it, because the first way you thought didn't work, and so you just try again. Let's see what these other shapes are. We're going to make this one, not this shape. We're going to go with different shapes. Yes. Lots of people in here. I am working on prop handles for diamond painting things. This particular blank was inspired by a book series, Throne of Glass, by Sarah J. Maas. And this is the city Terrasen in that book. We're working on trying to get some unicorns for it. Huh. Hadn't heard of that. Is it like a finish, or is it to like accent? You see that it's a dye paint, but do you put something over top of it, or is that like the end? Ah, gotcha. Interesting. I don't have a whole lot of dyes or anything like that as it relates to wood and dyeing wood. But I'm learning. I'm learning about wood, and I got my book of species of wood back there that I use and refer to when I'm interested in sitting down and just reading while I recharge and then get back to it. You can tell how different the pace is of turning these tubes because of the speed of the lathe being a little bit lower. For accents, I think I've seen some of those paints used. Do you have to mix it? Isn't that a paint, or is that a paint that you have to mix with like alcohol so you can apply it and then it evaporates and leaves the paint behind? Boom. Got it. Okay, that was a 33, I believe. So this is going to end up being a 33 instead. See, you just can't get deep enough as it is. But it's meant for larger diameter things in the first place. So I kind of did do a little modification in order to make that work. Hey Jeff, how you doing? Probably the hardest part of these mountain skis. I'm going back and forth just to make sure that they're rounded and everything. Hey X! Hope everybody's having a good Wednesday. Anybody got big plans for this year? Is that pronounced Ezekiel, by chance? It looks like it could be. A little more rounded. There. You know, Lawrence, I will say one of the weird things about going from wood to resin is turning on the downslope, because I usually peel up, but with steel or on wood in general, you want to go down as often as you can. So like right now I'm going up, but with steel you'd want to be going, you know, like from here down. Just a little too bulbous. Boom. Then the next step is for it to go over to the box. It's over there, beside Abby. Oh, she's got some of them finished here. This is what they look like when they're all done, sanded and polished. So definitely quite a bit different. Here, let me grab another couple here. So from this off the lathe to this after being sanded and polished. Quite a bit different. And then inside here is actually some polish, but that'll get cleaned out before they go anywhere else. I got two more of these. Two more. Lawrence, for your crochet handles or hooks, I don't remember. Did you say that you put an insert into them, or you did not put an insert into them? Like, do you have like metal hooks that you put into them, and then you just drill a hole and then it sits in there, you glue them in? You haven't turned much resin stuff? I sent you a pen. That's resin. You can turn it. Yeah, you can turn that resin pen. Mix resin and glue to wood blanks in turn. That's how I did the other ones, the stabilized wood. I made a little part for the middle, and that is actually a really nice looking set of them. Hey Abby, will you grab those over there on that tray? The stabilized wood? But yeah, it's definitely a pretty cool thing that you can do. You can bridge them pretty nicely. So that's what these are. So this is stabilized wood. These were short pieces. Or these pieces were a little too short for a pen. So I basically made it so we could bridge them together. Pretty simple to do, but as you know with other wood, there's little voids that are always there. Even in stabilized wood, you'll get voids that need some filling. So that's kind of what these are on the waiting list for. But yeah, that's wood and resin glued together. Oh, okay, cool. So you actually cut the hook into it. That's cool. Can you do any of the shaping of the hook with your scroll saw? Well, Lawrence, we might have to change that, man. We gotta get some blanks to you, possibly. Hello, Hunston. Hey, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. Thank you for that, Lawrence. Welcome to the stream. Boom. Hey, Verizon just sent me a message. Oh, okay. Nice. Okay, time to put the honeycomb effect in there. Alright, I think one final touch here will be good with this one. Boom. Alright. You love wood crafts, but some more than others. I hear you on that, man. I hear that. You wanted to try stabilizing. Oh man. That's definitely that's a setup there, that's for sure. You got the stabilizing, but you messed it up. How did you mess it up? Hey, Merrick. How are you? Alrighty. And we're gonna close this bad boy. Hello, I don't know how to pronounce that. But hello, hello. We're gonna modify this one. We're gonna do a non-standard shape here. We ended up pushing the rubber grommet inside the gauge and lost the oil. Oh, dang. Whoops. Hmm. Kind of a new design here, Lawrence. What do you think? I think I might need to bring this side a little bit more here. Okay. Still feeling good. Another mess up for you? Hey man, it happens. It happens. I was really focused on trying to get that right. I don't have many repetitions with that particular design. So making it symmetrical is tough. I think it feels and looks pretty good. Just a little bit more. Good. Push that down more. Yes. It also kind of has a pretty cool like green and then gold and then they collide, you know, kind of that whole effect. I like it. We'll see what the wife thinks. Let's see. All right, all right. Sweet. I like it. It's my favorite one of 2026. New shape, that is. All right, let's see. So what I gotta go do now is actually take my daughter to go get her retainer from the orthodontist. But let me switch cams right quick. But tomorrow will be a stream. I'm going to be working on fountain pens, and they are looking like this so far. Here we go. These are the fountain pens I'll be working on tomorrow. I'll be streaming most likely. So if you are interested in making fountain pens with no kit, or yeah, completely with about an 8-inch, 8.5-inch blank, or a rod that starts off kind of like this, and then you chop it down to 3 pieces, and then uh, you drill out the part for the barrel, the cap, and the section. Yeah, that'll be what I'm doing tomorrow. So I appreciate you being here. I had a good time. Lots of new people stopping by. I appreciate you doing that. Definitely means a lot. And if you do like turning and pin making and things along those lines, give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you'd like to see more like this. But that is pretty much what I do all the time. I turn pins. So if that's something that you're interested in, yeah, that's what my channel is essentially. So yeah, if that's about it. Appreciate you being here, and I will see you next time. Take care.